while I have you guys here, I've been working really hard on being as aggressive as Jamie is when she yells at you to be prepared. So hopefully this week I can really impress her. So quiet, she's coming.
All right, folks, here at BSEP, we are ready to begin week 6.
I got this. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Welcome to another episode of BSEP, where we're prepared so you don't have to be.
That was excellent.
Did I look just like you?
That was fantastic.
Been working really hard.
See, that exudes authority, which is so perfect for what we here at BSEP are talking about this week.
In this week's BSEP, what are we talking about, Jamie?
We are talking about the importance of following the advice of emergency personnel.
Oh, so Blessed Savior Emergency Preparedness Plan is talking about following commands and who to follow in an emergency situation?
Yes.
Okay. I think I got this.
Okay.
Can I just tell you though, like, my friend Jimmy, he kind of like has these really good ideas. And so before we get into like learning about this stuff, can you just kind of go over a couple of these with me? Because I just want to kind of double check to see what we would do in this situation with BSEP if it's good. Okay. So you know that I love to go on hikes, right? And like find waterfalls and all that stuff. Well, spring break is coming up soon, and Jimmy said that waterfalls are starting to like thaw, and so like the raging water is just like coming and flooding everywhere. We're gonna try to cross this really cool one that like 1% actually survives. So I'm gonna try to see, because I mean, what more fun could you have than like getting swept away in like the floodwaters of a waterfall?
My question for you is this.
Yeah.
Is Jimmy a fireman?
Well, no.
Is Jimmy a police officer?
No.
Does Jimmy do anything that has any authority?
No.
Then he is not the one you want to be listening to, and in case of an emergency.
Why not?
Because Jimmy does not have a good idea at all.
Okay, but you know, you sometimes read those signs before you walk into a park to like be careful and whatnot. I mean, has anybody ever actually gotten hurt from those? I mean, why do we have to read those signs anyway?
Is Jimmy a park ranger?
No.
Then no, do not listen to him. Those signs are there because yes, somebody has gotten hurt before.
Okay, fine. So if we can't do the waterfall one, then the next thing was going to be, we're going to become accident spotters and listeners. So you know how you can get like those cool radios that like you can listen to like the scanners and stuff and find? We are going to be the people that first get onto like an accident scene and watch everything that's happening. Because how cool would it be to be like, why are there lights flashing down there? We know because this is what happened.
No! At BSEP, we highly recommend that you do not listen to Jimmy, and instead you listen to the firemen and the first responders and the paramedics who are saying, stay far away, so that they can do their job.
I know, but I'm just always nosy when those things happen.
Exactly, you're nosy. You're not helping.
Oh, okay, well, strike 2, Jimmy. Sorry that Jamie's killing our spring break week. Okay, last one. You know how you have to like practice fire drills and fire safety and whatnot, and it's been kind of dry here lately, so we kind of understand that, so I guess we'll kind of be careful, but it would also be cool to have like all the firefighters rush on the scene. We're gonna do a campfire.
Okay.
And try to roast marshmallows, but it's a really cool, like, they're not gonna even know, like, we're gonna stick back and see, like, don't you think that'll be fun?
Is Jimmy a fireman?
No.
Is Jimmy a teacher?
No.
Is Jimmy a parent?
No.
No! Those are the reasons you should not listen to Jimmy in this instance. Here at BSEP, as part of the BSEP Papa, we highly recommend that you follow the advice and instructions of emergency personnel anytime there is any kind of emergency, because we're prepared so you don't have to be. But every once in a while there's going to come a time where even our highest level of preparedness means that a horrible thing might still happen, and in that case we have to follow the advice of the professionals. You cannot listen to the wrong person.
So like what you're saying is if those like little Smokey the Bear hibernation signs like come out and say like fire level or whatever like is high.
Right. That means no fire.
Man, there goes spring break. I have no idea what we're gonna do now because that was gonna be the fun. We were gonna have fires, floods, and like police scanners.
May I recommend something? Perhaps you take spring break to review the BSEP.
And maybe find a couple new friends. But like,
Also recommended.
but like, I mean, there's got to be something in this thing that like could save me if I'm out in the wilderness.
Again, listen to the right person.
I'll just tie a rope to like.
Nope. Listen to the right person.
Okay, fine. So you suggest I listen to you in this instance, or the
Emergency
professional?
personnel.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna go replan my spring break since you went to the whole thing.
And we thank all of you for joining us here today at BSEP as we discuss the next steps in our BSEP, where we're prepared so you don't have to be. We are prepared so you don't have to be.
Hey there, everybody. Oh, Jimmy.
Jimmy. Such bad choices.
Clearly does not know what's best for
You know,
everybody.
we talk so much about making sure that you listen to the right friends, to the right people,
Making good
so that you can make
choices.
good choices. Jimmy is a
Not someone
very
you should
textbook example of who you should not listen to.
Listening to Jimmy would either cause you to be dead,
Most likely.
or to end up in very big trouble, or I don't even know what
I don't
listening to
even
Jimmy
know.
would do. But
But today, in our Bible story,
we have Daniel.
we have Daniel, page 34, so you can read along with Daniel. But Daniel was faced with a big choice. He had to decide who he was going to listen to. He could either listen to God and follow God's commands, or he could listen to King Nebuchadnezzar, do the wrong thing, but not be punished for it.
Yeah, so we see in Daniel, we have a lot of lessons in Daniel. We see in Daniel that Daniel was told to bow down and worship and only pray to King Nebuchadnezzar. And if you didn't listen and do that to the king, then guess what? You were going to be thrown into a pit of hungry lions.
Yep.
Guess what Daniel chose to do? Continue to pray and worship and bow down to the one true God, which lands him in a pit of hungry lions.
Yup, it was an unpopular choice at the time. And we know it's hard to make the choice that is unpopular because you want to fit in with the crowd. You want to avoid bad things happening. We might not get thrown into a pit of lions
I was gonna
today.
say you want to avoid
But
hungry
we
lions.
want to avoid them still. But we want to avoid embarrassment. We want to avoid people making fun of us. We want to fit in. Daniel, though, shows us that you should always make the right choice because God can still work it out.
I was gonna say, you should always follow what God commands because he is the one true God and the one true king. So here Daniel is in the pit of hungry lions all around you, and not one thing happens to him.
Not a single scratch.
Not a scratch, not a hair on his head was damaged. He probably curled up and they all had a really good night's sleep. The king is worried, comes running the next morning, fully expecting to see Daniel either ripped to shreds or not even existing anymore. But instead, he sees Daniel alive and well. And Daniel shows in this instance that following the one true God is the only way to go.
Yeah, so even today, when we make the right choice to listen to the right person, who is God, we have the opportunity to be a great witness. It might not be a popular choice. It might not be a choice that gets people all excited for you. However, through listening to God, you will have the opportunity to show others who God is.
Yeah, and it might be a really uncomfortable situation that you're put in because you're not used to being that bold or that outgoing. But if God can use Daniel in a hungry pit of lions to show everybody that he is God and will protect you, he is going to use you in the same way that he's going to watch over you, protect you, keep you safe so that you can continue to be a witness, showing others that following the one true God and God's way will benefit you greatly in the end.
So make sure you don't listen to the Jimmies.
Don't listen to Jimmy.
Make sure you listen to God.
All right, friends, we will see you next time. We are at Holy
Holy Week.
Week, Jamie. So we are going to do a little bit different of scheduling next week because we will want to go through Holy Week with you and then also finally arrive at the Easter celebration and the resurrection and the promise of life that gives to us. So hang in there and we will see you next time as we celebrate Holy Week.
Have a great week.